His first experience with this Dodger team that is an absolute wagon. Joe, how would you describe all that?
I don't know who you would compare this team to right now. They're so far and away the best team.
All right, so right now in the 2026 MLB season, Shohei Ohtani is pitching to a 0.00 ERA. And just so we're clear, at the time of this recording, it's April 15th. The Dodgers are playing the Mets. Shohei is on the mound. It's the 4th inning, and it's still a 0.00 ERA. So at the moment, that might change with the rest of the game, but right now, he's continuing this dominance we're going to talk about. Now, at the exact same time, the man is in the middle of a 48-game on-base streak, the longest active streak in all of baseball. That has now officially moved him into 4th place in Dodger franchise history. We're talking about a list that goes back to the 1900s, and this guy, who's been in LA for barely 2 full seasons, is already 4th on that franchise all-time list. And oh, by the way, the Dodgers are sitting at 14-4 to open the year, so I don't want to hear anyone say the MLB glazes Ohtani too much. We'll stop glazing him when he stops doing glaze-worthy things, and right now he is not stopping. But before we get into it, guys, thanks so much for tuning in, and shout out to our sponsor of today's video, PrizePicks. PrizePicks is the #1 app in America for sports picking. It's the best place to win cash while watching sports. It's really easy to use. Just pick more or less on a few player stats and lock in your lineup. PrizePicks is available in most states, including California, Texas, Florida, and you can follow me on the app as well to see my plays and see how I'm cooking. That'll be at Uni Diamond Talk to see all my lineups, at Uni Diamond Talk, so check it out. Thank you guys, PrizePicks. Again, use the code HMA, and when you play $5, you're gonna get $50 in lineup credit. So download the app, use code HMA. I'll put the link in the description. Thank you again, PrizePicks. Now that that's out of the way, let's get right into the video. Okay, so let's go back to August 23rd, 2025. The Dodgers are in San Diego facing the Padres in a divisional matchup. Ohtani goes 0 for 4, striking out swinging to Nestor Cortez to open the game, lines out to right, flies out to center, and then in the 9th, flies out to right again off Adrian Marone. Just one of those nights, right? It happens to everyone. You're not on every single night. The next day, August 24th, he goes 1 for 4 with a home run and a walk, and that is where it all started. What neither Ohtani nor anyone obviously that day could have known is that he would not fail to reach base again for the next 8+ months. Now, of course, that number includes the offseason, but that's still crazy. That spans the end of 2025 season all the way through the 2026 campaign. And keep that in mind as we go through this, because when we talk about the names he's already passed and the names still ahead of him on this list, you're going to want to have the full picture. Now, Tuesday night, April 14th, in a tight 2-1 Dodgers win over the New York Mets, Ohtani reached base for the 48th consecutive game, past the legendary Ron Cey on the Dodgers all-time leaderboard. Now, if you don't know Ron Cey, look him up. The man was a World Series co-MVP. He held that 47-game streak across the 75 and 76 seasons, and it stood on the Dodgers record books for 50 years. And Ohtani has just walked past that in 2 full seasons with the Dodgers. And that's no disrespect to say. That is just Shohei Ohtani. And here's the thing about Tuesday night. Ohtani went 0 for 3 in the box score, officially hitless. But we're talking about an on-base streak. And the Mets, even though he was 0 for 3, were not just going to let him hit freely with a runner on 2nd and 1 out. So they intentionally walked him in the 8th inning. The streak lives on. Even on his worst offensive night of the season, teams are terrified of him. That is just how dangerous this guy is. So let's talk about where he sits right now on the Dodgers all-time list. According to MLB's own historian Sarah Langs, the longest on-base streak by a Dodger since 1900 goes like this. Duke Snider at #1 with 58 games in 1954. Then you have Sean Green with 53 in 2000. Then Willie Keeler with 50 from 1900 to 1901. And now you have Shohei Ohtani with 48 games and counting. He is 10 games away from the all-time Dodgers record, and Duke Snider's 58-game streak isn't just the franchise record, it is also the National League record. So keep that in the back of your mind. If Ohtani keeps this going another week and a half, we're not just talking about a Dodgers history anymore. We're talking about National League history, and the way this man is hitting right now, it is absolutely on the table. Now, before we even get to the Dodgers records, he already made history a few days earlier. On April 10th, 2026, Ohtani surpassed Ichiro Suzuki for the longest on-base streak streak ever by a Japanese-born player in MLB history. Ichiro Suzuki, the god of getting on base. Ichiro's record stood at 42 games, one of the most disciplined and consistent contact hitters the sport has ever seen. That record wasn't supposed to fall, in my opinion. Ichiro had a career on-base percentage over 355 and played nearly 2 decades in the bigs. And here's the part that's almost unfair to talk about, because just the on-base streak alone would be enough for a whole video. But we also have to talk about what he's doing on the mound, because it is every bit as ridiculous. Through his first 2 and now currently 3 starts of the 2026 season, Ohtani has thrown 15 consecutive scoreless innings with a 0.00 ERA, picking up 11 strikeouts in the process. And on top of that, his scoreless inning streak going back into last season now sits at 31.2 without an earned run, which is the longest active streak in all of baseball. This guy is just dominating. His first start of the year was against the Guardians, 6 scoreless innings, 1 hit, 3 walks, 6 strikeouts, and his fastball touched 98 miles per hour. Now guys, last season, he only had 1 start total where he went 6+ innings in the whole year. He's already matched that in his season debut. The guy is healthy, he is locked in, he is pitching like a guy who has something to prove. If we thought we saw peak Ohtani in the past, this year might be peak Ohtani. Now, there is also a subplot worth paying attention to here, guys. Earlier this week, Ohtani took a 94-mile-per-hour sinker to the upper back near his pitching shoulder. He stayed in the game, played designated hitter the next night, but for the first time in 5 years, he's pitching without Oso being in the batting lineup. Dave Roberts made the call to give him the best chance to stay loose for the start, so something to just watch going forward if he will be fully healthy or something is bothering him. Now, here's the bottom line, guys. The Dodgers are 14-4. They have the best player on the planet doing 2 things at the same time that most players can't do separately. The on-base streak is 48 games and climbing. The ERA is 0. The franchise all-time record leaderboard has him at 4th. Duke Snider's record, which is also the NL record, is sitting at 58 and genuinely in reach. And nobody in baseball right now is doing what Shohei Ohtani is doing. And it's not even close. I'm sorry. That's glaze, but it's the truth. What do you want me to say? So good luck to everyone trying to beat the Dodgers in general, but especially with what this man is doing right now. And again, it's not glazing, it's just the truth. But let me know in the comments below, guys, will Ohtani hit the record? Will this be the best year we've ever seen from him? Is he the GOAT? Are the Dodgers beatable? But that's all for today, guys. Subscribe if you haven't already. Turn on those notifications. We're giving away copies of the show and jerseys every couple of uploads. Now that that's out of the way, guys, I'll see you on the next one.